Hi, this is PabsD. In this tutorial, we're going to do sort of two parts for this tutorial. We're going to select Scarlet out of the background here using the pen tool, put her on a new layer, and then we're going to apply a rotoscope type effect to her. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is use the pen tool. I'm just going to go right in and select her, the area that needs to be selected here. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with the pen tool, I suggest you get familiar with it. It comes in handy unless you have one of those plugins like On One or PowerMass that really reduce the effort. But if you don't, this is what you need to learn, okay? Or use the extract filter. But the pen tool, to me, is a lot more accurate. With a little bit of practice, it should be no problem. Now, you see here, I made a mistake. It sort of curved here. So if you delete it and select it again and press Alt and just move this in. Now when you move or click here, it doesn't apply that curvy type effect, right? Okay. So I'm going to go here, then here, pull it in here. Okay. So I did it there again, so I'll delete it, select it, pull it in, and then try again. Okay. And then okay. And I did it there again, so I got to just basically what you're doing is pulling this in and aiming in the direction that you want the pen to go in. Okay. And then down. Keep going. And don't worry if it's not exact, you could fix that up later on. Okay. Oh, okay, I'll do that again here. And blah. And, oh, okay, there's still more. Okay. Then go right down to the edge here. Keep going. Hold on a second. I'll come back to that. There's just something here that needs to be fixed. Okay. Just using the clone tool. Okay. I'll go back to the pen tool. Okay. Try that again. If you make a mistake, just delete it. Click here again. Okay, and okay, so I'm pressing the Alt here to aim it to where I want it to go. Alright. Just keep going. Okay. Again, press the Alt key. Okay. Alright. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky here. Is the fingers. Okay. Just make sure the Alt key selected. Okay. Okay. Just keep going. So you could consider pressing the Alt key as like you're sort of steering the point here. Think of it that way. Okay. Okay, let me do that one more time. Mm-mm. Press the Alt key again. Okay, let's see what happens if I try to. Okay, there you have it. So, right now it's saved as a work path here. So what I'm going to do is just go to paths, if you can see it here, and then just make selection, or you can right click on it and then make a selection. Leave it at 1 pixels, anti-alias. Okay, and go back to the layers and then press Control J, and that just puts her on our own layer. Okay. So once we've done that, we're going to go to apply the rotoscope effect here. But before we do that, you could sort of, if you want, inspect it and sort of clean up the edges where they need to be cleaned up. So if I zoom in here, you could see there's some parts here. You could just use the eraser tool, sort of clean up any of the shadows that you need to clean up, or jaggies. So the pen tool does a pretty decent job here. Okay. Now you can see I'm using the eraser tool. If you want to be safe about it, just go to layers and just click add a layer mask, paint in black, choose your paintbrush, and this ensures that there's no pixels are harmed. Okay, so just go in. Okay, and just keep going down. So you can just sort of clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up. But the pen tool did a pretty okay job, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. So what we're going to do here is go to the filter, artistic, and then poster edges. And then when it pops up, oh, whoops, sorry. Before you do that, make sure the image is selected, not the mask. So filter, artistic, if I could get it, poster edges. Okay. And then it's hard to sort of see it here, but great. Just play around with the edge thickness. You could it's up to you, depending on what kind of effect you want to get with your image here. Okay, but I'm going to leave it at about 1 posterization at about 3. Actually, no, about 2. Okay, because you want sort of this shadow kind of effect here. And then I'm going to press OK. All right. So we're halfway done. What we're going to do now is choose the right at the bottom here, the layer style and stroke. Okay, you can see it's red. What you want to do is change that to actually black. Okay, make sure that it's actually center. Alright, and then normal is the blend mode, and then OK. Okay. Next thing we want to do, and now if that is too much, you could use the fill here. And what fill does, it takes down the opacity of, oh whoops, sorry. Or actually, you could, it drops down the opacity of whatever's inside, whatever effect has been used inside the image, not the rest of the image. Okay. Or only the select portion of the image. In this case, it was a selection of Scarlet. But in order to drop this effect down, the stroke, I could just go back in, double click, and set the opacity of the stroke to whatever you want, right? So, okay. I'm going to leave it at the size at 3. Actually, I'll bring it down to 2. And that's fine. I'll put the opacity back up. Alright. Now we could, we're not done yet. We still want to add a drop shadow, so I should actually go back in there and select drop shadow. And multiply should be your blend mode, okay? I want to drop the opacity down to about 38 or 40. And I already have the angle of the light. If you actually, I'm going to just cancel that. If you look at the original image, you can see that the light source is coming from the left and casting the shadow here. So when you go back into it, okay, the drop shadow should have a similar shadow cast as well. Okay, I'm going to set this down a bit. And the distance should be about 39, 30, or 29. You can play around with it. And spread of about 5 or 6. Okay. Now you can see here. Alright, that's the angle. There's the angle there. And you could add the spread a bit if you want. Okay. But I'll bring it down to about 7. You don't need to be. It doesn't need to be that large here. Okay. Okay. If you see the before, I'm just going to click preview. I'm clicking preview here just so you could see the before and after. Okay. So you have to work on the angle a bit. There shouldn't be any sort of shadow here because of the. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to go OK. And there you have it. The before and then the posterization effect afterwards here. Sort of a rotoscoping effect. I won't say rotoscoping period because real rotoscoping involves a lot of computers and man hours. But this is something that you could have fun with, and it comes a little bit close to it. Okay, alright, thanks a lot.